feeling you? No. That nigga a munch. Nigga eat it, he ate it for lunch. Bitch, on my body, I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you? That nigga a munch. Nigga eat it, he ate it for lunch. Bitch, on my body, I get what I want.
Welcome everyone. We've got Marvel's Ironheart, which is coming out June 24th. We got the trailer, then we got the breakdown, then we got Superman. For anyone who saw the last video, if it's up, my Twitch channel was suspended only for a day though, only for a day. And it's because of the cover art for DC the Don's album. An album for his song Get Naked. Like, if the video is up, it is because I covered it and I'm all good. If the uh if the video is not up, then I'm hoping at least the Ian part will be. And if the entire video is not up, then well, now you know. I got hit with a 1-day suspension for sexual what was it saying? Sexual content. All right, so yeah, all clips will be removed. The entire VOD will be removed. Yeah, sexual content, and I can appeal it, but it's like, you know, I'm still gonna appeal it. I'm still gonna appeal it. Um, I sent my appeal. If it's taken, it's taken. If it's not, it's not. Like I said, it's 24 hours. Um, that sucks a lot, you know, because I've been streaming now for almost 5 years, and not once in those 5 years have I ever gotten hit with any type of anything. Even when I play songs on stream, they just mute the parts that are copyrighted. I've never had a video removed, or I've never had a VOD removed. I've never had my account suspended or anything like that. And even though it's a one-time thing, if it's not like appeal, so it's taken off within this 24 hours, then it's like that's one strike. So now let's say next time it happens and it's much worse or something of that case. Instead of me getting what should be essentially my first strike, I would be getting a much heftier one, but you know, it is what it is. Ironheart. From executive producer Ryan Coogler, director of Black Panther's Wakanda Forever. Oh. Jesus.
In less than 3 minutes, the air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Oh, what is this?
Your interview. You'll suffocate and die unless you break into the device on the floor, where you will find a gas mask. Good luck.
Screw this.
The fuck? You can go.
Riri Williams was a genius.
Oh
So,
shit, it's the guy from
you went around.
Transformers. Hold on.
So you in or out?
Quite a bit of money. Quite a bit of money. But I can't be bought.
Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
Hold on. Wait a minute. What?
Genius
Is
at
that
MIT.
How come you're not
He's from Good Girls. He's the guy that the wife cheated on with her husband with.
working at one of those fancy
Spoiler,
tech
sorry.
firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable, something
Important?
iconic.
It's a brand new
I can
June
give you the
24th.
Tools to help you carry out your vision.
Woo!
But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. What will you do, Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew.
I could chew a lot.
Only on Disney Plus.
About this man.
Ouch. That's one. Two, are they dropping all if they're dropping all episodes, they have no faith in the show. If they're dropping it weekly, they might have some faith, but that doesn't always prove true because they dropped She-Hulk weekly and had me waiting week for Daredevil's episode. Week.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger
This show actually looks good. Oh, wait, hold on. What
You're
the
gonna
fuck?
end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger
Yo, the suit goes on her while she's running. That's clean as fuck. That is clean. I'm not gonna lie. Ironheart, that's a clean shot. It's a clean shot.
This is wild. A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady. Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
Okay.
Back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica.
And now we have the trailer breakdown with Jessica Clemens and New Rockstar. Lego.
Clemens, and this is a breakdown of the newest and first official trailer for Ironheart.
Yep, just
first
finished the
for us,
trailer.
because some other people got to see the footage. It doesn't matter. We're back with Riri Williams after Wakanda Forever in her hometown of Chicago as she attempts to build the
Chi-town.
best suit since losing her vibranium suit in Wakanda. Little does she know the troubled path that leads her down in this 6-episode series on Disney Plus premiering June 24th. So let's take a look at this trailer scene by scene to see those little details you might have missed. But before we get into it, may I just ask this few from last way to support into this trailer. The trailer opens on the Chicago Harbor, overlooking the Chicago Harbor Lighthouse and the Chicago skyline. The design on the corner of the screen are from the inside of Riri's suit. We are Riri. Riri then takes us to Desperitos Pizzeria, and there's a number on the front of the building that I tried calling, so you don't need to call it. It goes nowhere. Riri has a
I was
card in
never
her
gonna
hand,
call
so
it
she's been
anyways.
summoned here to this lifeless building, and this situation feels similar to Riri in What If Season 3 Episode 5. She secretly went to the power broker to get materials to make a suit strong enough to defeat White Vision. In this show, we'll see Riri try to recreate or make a suit better than any suit she's ever made, and like the What If Riri, she has to interact with some shady people to get what she wants. When she reaches the
I
elevator,
gave
we
up
get
on
a
What If.
like escape room type of situation, which, okay, this is weird. Also, side note, if this was me, I would just lay there and die. Simple as that. Riri's on the verge of being killed when her assailants give her the chance to escape by retrieving a gas mask. However, demonstrating her brilliance as an inventor and thinker, Riri chooses to break out of the elevator instead of getting the gas mask. Rather than playing their game, she decides to forge her own path. Then we meet Parker Robbins, aka The Hood, played by Anthony Ramos, and we knew from set photos, announcements, and just about anything that he was going to be played by Anthony Ramos. Parker Robbins in Marvel Comics was a small-time thief who was always doing small-time thief shit, and then he was attacked by a demon, so he shot that demon and stole its hood and boots, and then when he put them on, what do you know? He gets possessed by it.
That's
We
crazy.
also saw the Hood in season 3, What If 1872. Here, the Hood was originally the outlaw before Shang-Chi's sister, who killed him and took the Hood for herself. It looks like here he's already working with the cloak that'll eventually bond to him, and I expect the cloak will eventually turn this man crazy, which we'll get into a little bit later in the trailer. We get the glitchy banner for Marvel Television, and the glitches along the side emphasize that this is a tech show, and Riri is an engineer, and we're actually within Riri's suit right now. In the bottom corner, you can see there's a bunch of random numbers, but there's also a code script that says do something else, and above it says stuff to write. And I like that these are probably just placeholder notes for unfinished code. I don't know how to code, and I haven't done it since MySpace. But this is the kind of stuff that I would do in MySpace with the HTML. If I had to go back to it, I would just be like, go back to it here. And I guess I'm aging myself by saying that I was coding on MySpace. Do not try to guess my age. It's not hard to guess. And this is when we begin hearing Dochi's Crazy, and this song is actually perfect for Riri Williams. To quote Dochi, Crazy is about uncontained power and them. This idea
Don't
resonates
care
with
about
Riri
Doechii.
Williams, who seeks to push her own limits to create
Don't
something
care.
extraordinary. Although those around her see it as impossible, she believes she can do it, hence, she is crazy. We then get Riri walking down the street at night as another famous reminder our girl's from Chicago. She's wearing the Jordan and Nina Chanel Abney hoodie. Nina Chanel Abney is a Chicago native artist who collaborated with Jordan and made a full apparel collection celebrating basketball. This sweatshirt commemorates Jordan after winning the 1996 NBA Finals with the Chicago Bulls. When the camera rotates and picks up from her walking at another angle, we can see that this building is this location. This is actually the Coda Tech Square. Now, I'm not from Georgia, but just going through the research, this is a tech spot with a high population of startups and corporate workers among the restaurants and retail stores. Now, will it be this in the show or a fancy location that we're gonna call Chicago? We don't know. They shot some parts of the series in Chicago, but we know how Disney loves working in Atlanta and shoots around there as well. So we're then at the MIT labs. It's hard to make out what the door says, but from the Ironheart featurette released on Tuesday, we know this room is Stark Annex Hangar. We'll meet him soon, but we see that the teacher, who is the comedian actor Jim Rash, who you might remember from Community, he's also featured in Captain America Civil War and credited as the MIT liaison during Tony's visit. In the small cameo in Civil War, it's after Tony Stark approved everyone's projects to be funded by the September Foundation. It was initially announced in 2015 as a scholarship for students from urban city schools and later expanded to include MIT. So this annex must have been donated by Stark Industries, and the pieces for the story are starting to connect to the greater MCU. It makes sense that Riri has easier access to Iron Man's blueprints and various Stark accessories as they were donated to the school to further their studies and projects. These are the resources that she's using to build her suit. Then we see her suit up, and this is the first time we're seeing the suit in the trailer. This is her white suit that we'll get a better look at later, and I'll refer to it as the white suit. Still, technically, I think this would be considered her Mark III or Mark IV suit, seeing as her first suit was the one that Tala Kamil destroyed in Wakanda Forever. The Wakanda suit she made with Shuri is Mark II, and now this one I assume is suit 3, coming before the hard and gray one that we're going to see throughout the remainder of the trailer. I know some folks could recognize this as the Mark III, which can also be the case. We just don't know the chronological order of these last two suits yet. This white suit is similar to the one she made in the comics, which also was made with an MIT in secret, and of course it resembles her suit from What If Season 3. We'll see her test this suit a couple of times through trial and error. The following sequence shows everything blowing up when she's trying to use it, but from the featurette, one test seems to be successful enough. Jim Rash tells her she's not the first genius coming out of MIT, and she's not. Ned and MJ are there too. He says this as he's working on some sort of machine, though I think this is the date on the box, and it reads July 25th, 2025, which correlates with the July date on the elevator inspection certificate that Riri broke at the beginning of the trailer. According to Marvel's official timeline book, this takes place during She-Hulk, and I mentioned this in my Tuesday video. For more grounded Disney Plus shows, Ironheart's going to take place around the same time as Echo, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel. So depending on how many months this show covers,
so it's going to take place between two pieces of shit and some fire shit. Okay.
we could see some snippets of news from LA or characters soon to appear in Miss Marvel. And I know I say months because that feels insane. Maybe it spans weeks, but we do see Riri's hair change 3 times apart from the Wakanda flashback in the trailer, and black hair can stay up in those dudes for a long time, so I think this could span the summer. Additionally, this is the date the Fantastic Four is set to release in theaters. The other date reads 1608-02-088, which I could not figure out unless they're referring to Fantastic Four Volume 1, issue number 608, which I don't even know if it does. This issue of Fantastic Four has Reed with Black Panther searching deep under Wakanda. They go to the City of the Dead. Storm is also there. It's a lot, and it doesn't really have anything to do with Riri Williams. Then we're taken
Sounds
to
like an
another
interesting
shot
story,
of
though.
Chicago. This elevated train in the financial district is a shot people use to show off Chicago a lot. I only recognize it immediately because they show it in The Bear. Then we meet Manny Montana, who you might have seen in Good Girls. He's playing Cousin John, and there is a cousin, John King, who is also featured in the comics. He helps Parker Robbins with his thievery. Then we see a flashback of Riri from Wakanda Forever, where she began making her suit. And I love that she refers to this as an internship, which we all know damn well that's not what it was. Also, I don't think she can confirm it was an internship, seeing as Shuri is wandering outside of Wakanda now, currently nowhere to be seen. However, the Wakanda Design Group, which helped Sam in Brave New World, was at one point led by Shuri. So if Wakanda is taking interns, she could probably just say, I worked with the Wakanda Design Group, and no one really bat an eye. They'll probably believe her. I know there's somebody sitting out there watching expertise.com between her working in Wakanda, utilizing their advanced and impressive technology, and using an anvil and a hammer in her own living room. This setup highlights her innovative nature and persistence in creating, despite the undeniable limited resources she's facing now. Robin says he can give her the tools to help her carry out her vision, and then we see a fat stack of cash, so we know this ain't good. We're then taken to a control room where Cousin John and the team are breaking in, and there's a screen in the back, and you can see the metro lines of Chicago. It also looks very funny to me because this map is kind of rotated. Normally the map looks like this. They put Lake Michigan at the top, which is weird. Then we see Riri's brought her suit atop of a car. This man helping her pull back the Chicago Cubs flag is Alden Ehrenreich, who's playing an undisclosed role. But Scooper, Can We Get Some Toast mentioned he would be playing Obadiah Stane's son Zeke, who Riri will go to for a secret stash of black market tech to hopefully upgrade her armor. And this is a scoop, I should say, again, just so you don't think it's hard and evident.
It's impossible. Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica. I should say, again, just so you don't think it's hard and evident, but it's a scoop I'm beginning to believe. The suit on top of the car is the one we see throughout the remainder of this trailer. This scene could be her fixing it and upgrading it to become the machine we see later in the trailer, strong enough to stop the box truck. Alden could be holding any piece of equipment here in this scene, but doesn't it kind of resemble Tony's arc reactor a bit? Maybe it's some version of an arc reactor? In her Mark 1 suit, she has a version of an arc reactor. It's shaped like a heart. And her Wakanda suit, I don't think it needed one because it's created from vibranium. And we don't see it in the newer suit, or at least as forthcoming as the first suit or Tony's suit. So it might be hidden, stored away, or as most technology is, upgraded. Then we get this scene. I love this scene. So Riri has some wires connected to her temples, and the powers start flickering and doing some Frankenstein shit. Well, in the comics, Riri created an AI from scanning and compositing her brain waves and memories to create Natalie. And through this hologram, she speaks with it all the time. It's like her griot to Shuri. In the next scene of the trailer, we see the hologram coming to life, so she successfully does build a Natalie. Though the trailer cuts off right before we see her face, we don't officially know if it's Natalie, her best friend that she modeled it after. But spoilers, from set photos taken almost 3 years ago, we see Dominic Thorne and Lyric Ross in the same clothes we're seeing right here. They're filming at Adler Planetarium. So I'd say it was a success, and it is in fact Natalie's AI. We see the Hood appear from nowhere in the next sequence, and in the comics, his cloak granted him invisibility and teleportation. He can also channel his magic through his pistols, which honestly, sick as hell. If he's wearing the boots, it grants him levitation, though I'm sure the cloak will also give him levitation in the MCU. The police are then knocking on Riri's door, and this is Riri's mother, Ronnie, played by Angie White, and this is a reminder that Riri's father is also dead and gone, as she mentioned in Wakanda Forever. We see these people in suits searching for Riri, so this goes beyond the local police, but something bigger. This could be a high-class security, and Riri and them just stole something priceless. Then we're at White Castle, and we now meet Reagan Aaliyah, rumored to be playing Zelma Stanton. Why? Well, from set photos, they're shooting outside a place called Stanton Sweets, Reads, and More, and yes, there is a Stanton Sweets, but it's also not known for books. The character Zelma Stanton is an apprentice to Doctor Strange in the comics. As a librarian from the Bronx, she was infected by mind maggots.
Yes, sir. The big bees. Mind maggots.
and sought out Strange for help. After doing so, she was offered a job as his librarian. Later in their newfound friendship, Strange and Zelma were trapped in the Weird World, one of the domains of Battle World, and through a series of unfortunate events, she's left with magical powers, eventually becoming Strange's apprentice. I don't think any of that will happen here, but it's not unusual to have a character from New York appear in this show. Parker Robbins was originally a comic character based in New York as well. It seems as though they are picking characters who fit smoothly into the story. Since this narrative involves magic and technology, bringing someone like Zelma makes sense. We then see Riri setting up this white armor that we've been seeing through the featurette.
That white
look
looks
ahead. Riri's
so
now
clean.
flying all over Chicago, which feels weird, right? In public, why would you do that? However, it isn't. Remember how she told Shuri in Wakanda Forever there's an entire YouTube channel dedicated to her sightings?
That thing can fly. There's an entire YouTube channel dedicated to sightings of me.
So there's someone down there just recording this with their phone. We see Parker Robbins' sick dual pistols that he'll certainly be channeling that magical energy into. And also, how funny is this scene? In broad daylight, in the MCU, if I was a civilian, I'd be like, damn, another witch? Like, what's up, Doctor Strange? And then he'd pull out those 2 Glocks and unload on me. I wouldn't even think this is a super-powered individual. I just think this is a madman in a cloak. As Riri's friends warn her, we see Parker Robbins' back, and boy, that cloak is really bonding to his back. So the hood in the comics basically corrupts you and influences a lot of your bad actions. In What If 1872, we see how the hood affected Shang-Chi's sister. It made her more ruthless and dangerous, and once the cloak was detached, she was back to her normal self. Even Shang-Chi said, "You didn't kill her, Kate. The hood did." And I think that part of the story we'll see in Ironheart. Parker Robbins' motivation combined with the magical corruption of the hood will gradually transform him. And I also like the details to see how the cloak is killing or affecting him. The markings resembling like veins spreading over his tattoos, and the roots seem to be pulling poison through his body. It is diabolical. We then see a piece of the hood's magical bullets fly past Riri. This scene must be from the set photos we got a long time ago. Those set photos show the hood and Riri, and this must be the point in the show where they both duel it out. From the shots in the trailer, it seems like she works with Parker at the beginning, recognizes the trouble they're in, and then works with Alden to stop him. We're then watching Riri outside the White Castle. This is the white box truck that was chasing her. Her suit, like Tony's, comes to the ready. Then she smashes the truck in the street. We're then taken to Alden's bunker. He has a projectile missile just sitting there on his desk, 2 live, laugh, love signs, and a shake weight on the reclining chair. So clearly, I believe the scoops are right. He has a stash of black market tech. Plus, how can he be a villain if he has 2 live, laugh, love signs?
Exactly.
No one can be a villain with those.
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
Then we close out with her signature metal heart. And what I think is interesting here is that in the Marvel look ahead, we got this scene of Riri cheerfully walking away from a fire or an explosion. This fire or explosion looks like it's within some kind of scientific holding facility. You see that they're processing mushrooms. As I mentioned regarding her hairstyles earlier throughout the trailer, this one is different from all the others that we've seen. We also haven't encountered a shot like this before, which makes me even wonder if this is a dream sequence or a memory or something similar. This sequence seems to suggest that Riri is evil, but we know that's not true. Like, right? She can't be. Oh my god, please don't make my girl bad. Speaking of evil, the official poster feels exceedingly evil. The quote, "Every dream has a cost," suggests that similar to Parker Robbins and his cloak, Riri may be manipulated by her suit, almost like a puppet, maybe more so metaphorically. This hints at the danger she faces. Her desire to improve herself may start to conflict with her core values. She might end up sacrificing herself in the pursuit of her own goals. The fact that her suit acts as a puppeteer indicates that she could easily lose her way, much like Parker Robbins will, corrupted by the hood. Ultimately, you have to ask yourself, who's really pulling the strings? And don't you dare say Mephisto. The teaser made me more excited. The poster really intrigued me because girl, there's a suit behind you. And I, like you and many others, was also skimming that damn trailer for Shea Coulee. And I'm ready to see her in the show when it comes with a 3-episode premiere June 24th. Oh my gosh, it's finally
A 3-episode. Oh, they have no faith in this show. 3-episode premiere. I'm watching it, but it's like half of the show on day 1. Yeah, wrap it up, buddy.
time. Comment down below your thoughts on Ironheart, and a special thanks to one of our YouTubers.
Wrap it up, buddy boy.
領域展開無料空所